watercolor supplies that I highly recommend. The first one is the paint itself. I worked with different brands and I think my favorite is Winsor & Newton Professional Watercolor. When I choose that option, I'm thinking about multiple things. The first one is the vibrancy of the colors, and when they dry, you know, how they look, and also is it easy to blend, how fast do they dry, which is very also dependent on the paper, and also can I layer them, because if they are too opaque then they won't layer very well. And I think Winsor & Newton series has all in one, and I really like that. The only negative side about Winsor & Newton Professional Watercolor is the price, but I think it's a big plus that you can buy the individual pens separately. Number two is having a mop brush and a thin brush. I think mop brush is great because you can create the big areas and also kind of middle and even thin areas with that, because you can use the tip of it. So it is very useful to have that brush. The only negative thing is it holds a lot of water and a lot of paint. So if you just want to mix your colors, I don't think that's a good mixing brush. You can mix your colors with some other brush and then do the application with this brush. And the thin brushes, of course, you need one because you need to give fine details, such as if you're working on a portrait, the eyelashes and eyebrows and such. Number three, 100% cotton paper. So you can have watercolor paper as cellulose, or I'm sure I mispronounced that one, or 100% cotton. I really did not know the difference between those two until I used the 100% cotton one. So what happened is with cellulose one, which was Strathmore watercolor paper that I was using, when I added too much water, paper started to get damaged. And I was like, wow, it just has been like maybe 2 applications and it was it. But with 100% cotton paper, you can apply more layers like that, more wet layers like that, and it's not going to get damaged. And another thing I realized that it doesn't dry so fast with the cotton one, so it gives me more time to work on my painting. And I personally like hot press. I like the Archie's hot press paper. It's just because I'm working with like little details, and fine grained ones are better for me. If you want a coarser grain, if you want a bigger tooth of the paper, then you can go with cold press. For realism, I think hot press is better, but I really like how cold press looks. It gives a very nice character to the painting. Number 4 is washi tapes, or we can say masking tapes. So where do we use them? We tape our painting in 4 sides and then we start painting. So this is good for multiple reasons. The first one, it looks beautiful when you remove. It looks like a frame and actually gives some area to hold on to. And the second one is it prevents it from bulging. So if you're using watercolor, you know that it's not going to stay flat. It started to get like, you know, hills and peaks. In order to not to have that, you can use these tapes. You don't want to have those hills because then the water starts pooling and that really affects your painting. With these tapes, you prevent that, at least a little bit. Another positive side for me, because I film my tutorials, it just keeps them in the same spot. Because I realize if I don't have the tapes, I keep like moving the paper and I just realize that I'm out of the camera view, so that's why I like them. And number 5, you wouldn't believe that I'm giving this as the top most important 5 watercolor supplies, but a towel, a paper towel, because it is so important. I've never had a watercolor painting yet without my paper towel. It's must have. Why? Because when you make a mistake, for example, you can just remove the paint right away, or if the water or paint starts to pool, then you can just remove that excessive water with the paper towel again. And another plus side is that if you have too much water or too much paint on your brush, you can just slightly press it on the towel and then it's going to soak up all these excessive water for you. And then your hands get dirty sometimes, right? So you can just clean your hands with a clean paper towel too. So paper towels are very very handy. We spoke about Winsor & Newton. I had compared Winsor & Newton with another popular paint, and if you are interested in that, it's right here. If you like what I talked about, please don't forget to subscribe or like this video. I'll see you next time. Bye.